You ever look around and just feel like the world is losing its way? Like our moral compass is a little broken? Well, what if I told you that ancient Hindu texts, the Puranas, predicted this exact scenario thousands of years ago? Today, we're diving deep into their prophecies about the age we're supposedly living in right now, the Kali Yuga. So, what really happens when the very ideas of truth and order start to just fade away? The ancient Puranas, which are this huge collection of Hindu scriptures, they tackle this question head on, and they offer a fascinating and, frankly, a shockingly specific vision of what it looks like when the moral fabric of society starts to unravel. So, let's get into it. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll get a handle on the grand cosmic timeline that all of this fits into. Then we're going to zero in on the core problem of the Kali Yuga, what's called the decay of Dharma, and see how that's predicted to ripple through society and even into our personal lives. And finally, we'll step back and think about what these ancient warnings might really mean for us today. All right, first things first, we've got to talk about the concept of time itself. See, in the Puranic view, time isn't just a straight line moving from past to future. Nope. It's a vast, repeating cycle of four great ages, or as they're called, yugas. It all starts with the Satya Yuga, which is like this golden age of pure truth and virtue, where humanity is totally in sync spiritually. But as the cycle turns, things start to decline. Think of it like a kind of cosmic winding down, moving through stages of decreasing morality, leading to the final and, you guessed it, the most challenging age of all, the Kali Yuga. So here we are, at the final stage of the cycle, the Kali Yuga. But what really defines it? According to these ancient texts, it isn't necessarily war or disaster, but a single central crisis, the decay of something called Dharma. Now, to really get the Kali Yuga, we have to understand Dharma, and it is so much more than just religion or law. The best way to think of it is like the fundamental moral gravity that holds the entire universe together. So when that starts to weaken, well, that's the ultimate catastrophe. And this quote from the Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran, it just lays it all out, doesn't it? It says that as this age goes on, the absolute cornerstones of a decent society, things like truth, mercy, even our own memory, are all predicted to systematically just wither away. So what does a world with a decaying moral foundation actually look like? Well, the Puranas, and specifically the Vishnu Purana, paint a vivid and, let's be honest, a pretty bleak picture of total societal breakdown. The prophecies describe a world turned completely upside down. Leaders become predators, not protectors. Justice gets replaced by raw power. Your worth as a person isn't about wisdom or virtue, it's just about how much money you have. The texts even predict that the most fundamental bonds, the ones we have with our own families, will start to break down. And listen, these aren't some new age ideas. As you can see from this page of an actual ancient text, these prophecies have been preserved and studied for centuries, describing a future that, well, many people believe is unfolding right now. Now, this breakdown of society, it doesn't just happen out of nowhere. The texts are really clear about this. They say it's a direct result of a deep, profound change in our inner character and in how we relate to each other as human beings. I mean, just look at this contrast. It's night and day, right? On one side, you have the ideal virtues that hold up Dharma, and on the other, you have what's prophesied to take over in the age of conflict, a world that's driven by impulse, by cruelty, and by whatever feels good in the moment. And this internal shift, it affects everything. Someone's considered smart just because they can talk a good game, not because they have any real wisdom. Being poor is seen as a moral failing, and texts like the Vishnu Puranas specifically point out that the bonds between men and women will suffer, becoming shallow and transactional, based only on superficial attraction instead of any real commitment. Okay, after hearing all of these pretty dire descriptions, societal collapse, moral decay, it's kind of easy to feel a bit hopeless. Which brings up a really important question. What is the actual point of all these prophecies? You see, the point isn't just to forecast doom and gloom. Not at all. The Puranas present this as a challenge. It's a warning, sure, but it's also a guide. It's meant to highlight just how important it is to consciously choose to uphold Dharma, to choose virtue, especially when the world around you seems to be completely losing its way. And this, right here, is the question that the Puranas ultimately leave us with. Should we take them as a literal roadmap of what's to come? Or are they maybe a timeless metaphor for the struggle that exists in every society, and really within every single human heart, that eternal battle between order and chaos, between virtue and vice? It's something to think about.